So, Bethany, I just want to say for everybody watching this recording that today's a special day celebrating your millionaire status. I've waited a long time for this. It is so well deserved. And we are just getting started because we finally have a team duplicatable system to share business. And I'm so excited. You want to say
So
anything,
excited.
Bethany,
Thank you. Thank
about
you
your new rank?
all. And like I keep saying, I mean, without all of you guys, upline, downline, sideline, ISA cousins, ISA sisters,
Okay.
everybody. Yeah.
We just
Love
love
you
you
all.
and we're so excited for you. So the first thing I want to do, and I repeat myself a lot because I know that repetition is the mother of all skill. So even though some of you already did this, might already know it, for those listening or for those needing it, I'm going to repeat. So what we have done in order to duplicate what Bethany and I are participating in order to make sure you're getting the exact same thing, we are recording and posting every call that we do as a platinum group. Okay. So you're going to have the Monday calls, which now they were every other Monday, but now for this duration, they're going to be every Monday. We also have something called hot seat calls, where she works with us personally within the group. And those are on Wednesday. I believe Bethany and I both have hot seats this week. So we'll be sure to share that for any value that it brings to you. Then we've taken the entire course that's available in our personal portals. And what we've done is we have uploaded the entire course to our Steps to Freedom page where all my leaders are. You can always add people there. I think that's going to be the best thing for LinkedIn. My intention with that group was to always have a place where I could have direct communication with anybody that wanted direct communication with me, even if it meant taking what I was giving you out of my group into wherever it would serve. But I think for simplicity's sake, I toyed around with the idea of making a separate LinkedIn page, but there's just too many groups, too many choices, and too much information. So I'm kind of doing it from my overwhelmed standpoint, but I know that I'm not the techie, so I'm a really good gauge, unlike Bethany. Like I know when I don't get it, a lot of people won't get it. I don't think there's ever a time when Bethany doesn't get something. I'm just gonna say. But anyway, so I want to just help you understand. I'm going to just take you into our Steps to Freedom for a minute. Has everybody, while I'm doing this, has everybody had a chance to go into units and see how this is laid out? In fact, will you unmute and let me know if you have not been in there? So I just know where we are since it's a very small group.
Ellen,
Yes.
this is Pam. I've been in there and I just did the branding worksheet today and I had a question.
Yes.
Avatars are supposed to be who we are.
Well,
but-
we're going to get into that in a minute because that's the whole
Okay.
call. But first, I just wanted to go over the orchestration of where things live, how to access them, where you can find things. So here is our Steps to Freedom. We changed the page from a private page to a something other page that gave us this special little thing called units.
Social learning.
I know, social learning. So, and units allow us to house these modules the way they exist. But a lot of times we don't have flexibility with our formatting. So something interesting happened here. I'm going to just show you. So here are the modules. Does everybody know where to find their course? Okay. And I want to tell you, I just privately here, I spoke to other leaders, Bethany, today after the call. They're actually charging their teammates $100 a piece to share this. So actually, some of the leaders are giving the money to charity, but they didn't think people would fully commit without skin in the game. So we kind of went around, but I just want you to recognize the value of what you have. And I hope that even without skin in the game, you'll take this seriously as a true opportunity to completely change your business. Okay, did we lose Melissa and Shayna, or is this just the way my screen is?
No, it's just the way your screen
I'm
is.
still
They're there.
here. I'm still here.
Okay, great. So here we start out. LinkedIn modules 1 through 9. Some of these are a video. Some of them are a video with homework that is in a PDF. For me personally, I'm printing the PDF, but I'm finding that I have more space to write in my notebook. So if you don't care about printing the PDF, look at what it is, take the topics and just put it into your notebook, however works. Now, the first video here was our first call last Monday. This was the welcome. Module 1 has a worksheet. Anytime, now hear me, because I was confused. Anytime that there's a video and a worksheet, Facebook posts the module just like this little icon, and it says worksheet. But I want to show you what happens. Once you click it, you'll be able to access the video, which is on YouTube, right? As what, here it is, the video as well as the worksheet. Does that make sense? What confused me was, why are some of these modules printing this way? And why are some of these modules printing with the video? Here's the answer. Whenever there's a module in a week that does not have a worksheet, Facebook prints the thumbnail as a video. So I want you to know that each of these weeks is complete, regardless of how the thumbnail looks. If there's a worksheet with the video, there'll be a worksheet here. If it's only a video without a worksheet, it'll be the video. So you can go in order, you can repeat things, you can go at your own pace. Welcome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some scripts, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to get a lot more complicated with CRM systems and funnels. And so I've done module 1, 2, and 3 twice each, making sure I've not missed a thing, making sure I'm expert.
Me too, Ellen.
Of course you did.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. And
Bethany
now
and I are like such twins. It's so funny. You have so many of the platinum members, like they don't know what's going on. Where do I find this? Where do I find that? They're like, can we still get a hot seat call? In the first week on Monday, as soon as they said the word hot seat, Bethany and I were like, 1 and 2, boom, got our, it was, you guys would have been proud,
yeah.
right? So anyway, is there any question about where the course lives, how to access it, and what you're supposed to be doing on your own? Because as long as I have you in charge of that, we're ready to get into everything. Any questions? Now, if you're good with that, my only question is, has anybody not seen the welcome video? And is there anybody that has not completed module 1? So we're all on the same page in this call, yes? Shayna, you even did it? Module 1?
Yeah, I mean, in between, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
excellent,
I'm
excellent.
still working on mine. I'm still working on mine.
You watched
Okay.
the video though.
I,
All right. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, I pull the onboarding, video, but I will be caught up.
So I'm going to tag team with Bethany. I'm just going to riff a bit. Bethany, interrupt me, add, take over. Like, I'm just going to do what's on my mind and tell you how I approach this and why it's important. Everything that you do on LinkedIn, from an article post, from a post to an article, to a like, to a connection, everything is based on what they refer to as like your store, your foundation, your business card, your biography, and that is your profile. So your profile and the strength of your profile is going to determine, like a domino effect, the success of everything else you do. So I was doing LinkedIn with, I did my profile as best I could, but I didn't really understand the method to the madness. I knew that Robert liked to send voice texts. I knew that other people didn't want Isagenix people in their pipeline. Like, there was all these conflicting pieces of information that never helped me understand how to really make good use of the platform. So the reason we're spending so much time on the foundational pieces is because everything that follows this is make or break if you don't get these first few steps right. With that being said, there is a way to protect yourself and your contacts. And I made a post in Steps to Freedom, and it's like this 2-step authentication process that blocks people from being able to shut you out of your own LinkedIn.
Can I add to that, Ellen?
Please, and did everybody see that? And Bethany, you can talk about that.
And it's important to have the 2-step authentication thing on all of your platforms. You also want to make sure that, for example, your Facebook friends are not visible to other people as well. Because what happens is when you have your friends visible, they can go and then they can start friending all your friends. And they're like, oh, well, I should just accept this person's friend request because they're friends with Pam. So that's something I kind of took over years ago. I put in the 2-step thing. I blocked my friends so nobody can see who my friends are. Unless we have mutual friends, you can see my friends. That's it. Otherwise, nobody else can see them. So that's super important to do on all platforms.
Now,
For people that don't know how to do that, I've read it. I read it today and trying to figure it out. I wasn't getting it.
I gave you the steps, inside steps to freedom in the post. I actually said, go here, click here, do this, do this. So if you go back to that post, maybe Google my name within the group, you'll be able to find it.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
LinkedIn specific how to do it, or?
Well, it's a matter of just finding out where it lives in your
Perfect,
LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's in your
Yeah.
settings. It's in
Yeah,
your
okay.
settings. And Mary, you can even Google two-step authentication Facebook.
Perfect, thank you.
Now,
It will, and it
Spencer,
should just lay it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll tell you
I
exactly
must
where
have
to
done
go.
something wrong because I was following it and, but I'm learning still.
we're all learning. Now, Spencer had another suggestion about two-step authentication, but I didn't have the time to dig into her recommendation. I can ask her, and I can ask her to repeat her post or just tell everybody, because she knows a lot about security, because she's kind of anal about all that stuff, because she's super private. The other thing is, in setting up your LinkedIn relative to that, is Melissa suggested that we unfriend everybody in Isagenix.
So I just spent like almost an hour doing that. So all of you that I was friends with, I'm no longer friends with you on LinkedIn.
Now, understand something. I was confused about this because in Facebook, and in Instagram, we always try to boost each other's posts. And it's always important that we have each other to start some energy in a comment. I guess on LinkedIn, you're going to have better access to levels 2, 3, 4, 5, not through your people. In fact, if you have Isagenix people, you're going to bump heads and end up trying to recruit the same people. There's over 600 million on this platform. If you don't have Isagenix people with the very small amount of network marketers on the platform, you'll have a much better chance of staying in your own lane. So it's not because we don't want to support one another. It's that we're all a one-man band trying to recruit on that platform, and we have to approach it that way. Any questions about that?
Also, I'll just add, the algorithms are not the same. So the boosting and stuff like that, that doesn't happen with LinkedIn. That's not the same. So that's another reason why we don't need to be connections. And she said, not only do you not, do we not need to be connections, she recommends absolutely not being connections.
And when somebody likes or comments on any of your posts, their network is seeing what they did, which is opening up you to each person's entire network. So that is the viral aspect of LinkedIn on how it grows quickly when you have interaction on your posts, right, Bethany? So now let's go back to the module 1, which is what today's call is about. Module 1 is dealing with 3 things. It's dealing with what is your story, who is your avatar, and how and what do you do to represent your own personal brand. Right, Bethany? With that being said, when we talk about your story is to be thought of in the following way. Why are you pursuing this business? How does it make you feel? What excites you? Then there's a worksheet specifically on your story dealing with the past, the present, and the future. Okay? So you can choose, your past should represent the point in your life where you had the greatest amount of pain that you wanted to make a change. The pain that you had in your past is the same pain that you will attract in your avatar. So even though your avatar is somebody that's already been successful, crushing it in corporate America, for example, there is no reason for them to engage with you if there's not a pain point where they desire a change. So I had to do a lot of thinking. Well, don't I want to recruit successful people? They're not going to be in pain. They're happy. They're on top of the world. Absolutely not. The people that choose to engage in the business of Isagenix are choosing to engage because they want something different. They want something more. And unless that hot button is there, you and I both know what happens. They sit on their bum and they do nothing. That's why we talk about everybody having a very hot why. And the hot why is a result of the desperate need for change, which is directly related to the pain point. So when you're writing out your past, remember that your story is going to fuel your comment. For example, I was a feast or famine actress, tired of waiting for the phone to ring, knowing that I deserved more, and desperate for a change so I could raise my children with abundance, saying yes to their needs and nurturing their talents and paying for school and giving them every opportunity that I dreamed of. It just wasn't happening while I waited for my opportunity. So when I was introduced to this opportunity, I decided to go for it because my family was at stake. And I wanted time freedom to raise my children from home and create abundance together. So that was my pain point. So do you see how I'll show you what I did on LinkedIn today that relates to my brand and story, so you can start thinking, is the way that I'm writing out my story going to help me with my posts? Now, we're not necessarily ready to be posting, and I did that just to play around with what I'm learning. And I took advantage of the fact that my best friend and partner today had an incredible, had an incredible millionaire milestone. So, Bethany, do you know where the posts are? Because it was here a minute ago on my phone, and I was trying to get to it quickly to show you the post I made about Bethany.
Yeah, I think,
Here it is.
oh, there you go.
I forgot the poster at the top. So even though I'm not in Bethany's
I love that picture of us.
I know. Even though I'm not in her network, I asked her permission to use this because I just think that's appropriate. She said it was fine. And she's going to be able to use my picture and talk about my millions earned for herself, right? My partner and BFF, Bethany Krause, is a great example that anything is possible when you are aligned with the right company, right compensation plan, and hungry for change. This small business owner, professional snowboarder, and general contractor was a mama that knew she deserved more. She wanted to be home with her kids, grateful that she said yes, and celebrating her massive achievement today as the newest millionaire on our team. Now, when you look at this, there's an intelligence in this post, right? I'm calling out to all small business owners, people that are already successful, professional snowboarder, athletes. So I listed and spoke to the fact that she was doing fine, but she wanted a change. Her change is my avatar. Professional moms and others that are looking for time freedom to be home with their kids. I could have told Bethany's story in a million different ways, but I pulled the aspects of her story that were relative to my avatar. Does that make sense? Then I chose the hashtags that were related to my description, my headline, and my avatar. Network marketing, e-commerce, mompreneur, residual income, time freedom, change your life, grateful heart. Now, 39 people and all of their networks have seen this post. So considering that I'm not even doing LinkedIn yet, I was thrilled that 39 people saw it, right? And I've already gotten, people now asking me to connect after viewing it, but I didn't do that. So anyway, back to, you know what, let me show you this as an example as well, because, well, no, you know what, let me get back to you guys. Stop share. I'll go back to that. So while we're talking, let's just talk about story as the first part of this module. So I've given you an example of how my story related to the content I posted. I told you a little bit about my pain point. Then you have your present, and then you have your future. So Bethany, do you want to just give the example of your pain point in your past?
Yeah, sure. Mine was entrepreneur, starting businesses with the sole intention of being able to travel and have time freedom and be with my kids. And it was the exact opposite of what I had envisioned. So that was my past. Obviously that was my biggest pain point.
It was really relative to my post without knowing that that's how you went public.
Yeah,
That's really great, but that's awesome. Okay, who would like to share?
Hi, Polly.
All right.
Who would like to share their past part of the story in terms of, or a couple of lines about your pain point, just because we will all be learning from each other. If you haven't figured it out yet, just listen. But if you've already identified it, would you be willing to please share?
Hey, how long are they supposed to be? I always think we're supposed to make things really short. Mine's pretty short.
So listen to me. This story is not going anywhere. This story is like a personal journal. That's going to help you get clarification on your avatar, on your content, and your presence on LinkedIn. My firm belief is that everything you write is the first step of your law of attraction. So the more you write, the more you feel, the more you play music while you're doing it, like really sink into the writing. There's no grade. Nobody's seeing it. It's only for you and the universe. So so there's no answer to that, Mary. You could have 5 pages. And if you feel like I would say if it's one line, you probably want to elaborate more so that you can get in touch with your feeling, right? Because one line allows you dissociation from it. The more you write, the more you feel. The more you feel, the more you manifest. That's just how law of attraction works. So I would say this is an exercise in law of attraction and clarity on LinkedIn. It's a twofold process. And it's very important for that reason.
Got it. My pain point was pretty bad at one time.
So why don't you tell us what it was?
Okay.
Imagine that I'm on LinkedIn and I have pain right now, and you're trying to find people that have the same pain. So I want you to describe your past in such a way that you're throwing your fishing line into the lake, and I'm waiting there to be hooked. And you got to hook me by making me feel that I could relate to your pain.
Okay. All right. So before Isogenics, I owned 2 businesses. I worked 7 days a week. I actually sat at a nail station 10 hours a day, full 6 days a week.
Excellent, Mary. This is absolutely perfection.
In order to make that go, I had to sell my house for $21,000 and live in the shop for 10 years, sleeping in the back because I couldn't afford a house payment and the shop payment. So I just did nothing but work 7 days a week. I couldn't go anywhere, no vacations ever, no time off at all.
So this is excellent. Now I'm going to take her pain and I'm going to just riff on a post that would be possible based on the who am I of Mary. Ready? The post would go something like this. I remember the days when I was working 24/7, hardly had time to breathe, let alone eat or spend time with my family and my husband. In fact, the photo below, the perfect manicure, was something that I had to look forward to every day, 50 times a day. Polish on, polish off, polish on, polish off, and my bed was in the back of my shop. When I was approached by my friend that was the massage therapist working for us about some network marketing thing, I thought it was a pyramid. Boy, did I have a lot to learn. It thrills me that I can share. I made millionaire status in this company without any prior history in network marketing on this date and this number. I like to pride myself on leading by example and helping people during this unique time on our planet imagine their next chapter too. That's it.
And that's so true. That's exactly how
But
it
you see that I took your pain
is. Right?
and I turned it into like a call to action. That's just one post.
Right.
Now, that's not going to be every post centered around pain, but does everybody see how I took her information and I turned it into a post? Who else would like to share their pain of past in their story?
I wrote something. Oh, excuse me. Somebody else is talking.
Go ahead, Pam.
I just wrote something down real quick while Mary was talking, while I was listening, of course. And what I wrote is, I remember the days going from job to job with many life changes. I was a lost soul looking for something, not knowing what that was. And that's as much as I wrote.
My heart aches for the lost souls that are trying to find their new path during COVID. I'm grateful I took time to learn what it means to have a virtual business because it seems these days with diversification of income, everybody needs an online business. Drop a
Wow.
comment if you agree.
And you can be specific about whatever those jobs were. So people, if they're in those specific jobs or they just left it or they're just getting into it, they can identify and they'll say, oh my God, she's talking about me. I'm doing the exact same thing. That's what you want, is you want somebody out there to be going, oh my God, that's exactly what I did. That's
And
exactly what
post
I'm
a
going through.
beautiful picture of yourself so they have an attraction to you along with your post. To
A current
personalize.
picture and an old picture of when I was lost.
Whatever, no,
Because
no.
that was 20 years ago.
No, I would say a photo of you now, so people they just see your image associated with your message.
Right, and that was amazing what you said. I'm glad this is recorded so I can go back and stop and start and write it down.
You notice I recorded as she was saying it for me, so
I'm always
I
like,
don't want to wait. I want Ellen's words now. I know better. than
I didn't
I
even
can't
know.
write fast enough.
I love you guys. Let's move on though. Let's move on and give everybody a chance because it's so great that it's a small call. So let's go over more
Thank
pain
you.
points. Who else would like to drop in pain point?
I'll drop-
Shayna, I know you got yours clear. I've heard it.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can. Go ahead.
God, it makes you really go deep of where you started. And so talk about pain. I just wrote down key things, but when it comes, I was in physical and mental pain. Physical and mental pain, my health, anxiety, depression, food issues, and just kind of living in this blur of life at a 9-to-5 job as a legal secretary. So I was searching, I didn't know what I was searching for what I was, until I was actually looking for community that would open my mind to personal development,
Beautiful.
possibilities, and
So you could
the
leave
freedom from health. Huh?
culture and community and how it affects mindset. You have to,
Yeah.
now, where I'm going to challenge you is to get a little more bold about business opportunity. Listen, you know me, I'm the culture girl, but I want to make sure you don't become soft in your posture by just creating friendships and community, because that is a great big part of who we are. But where we have to strengthen ourselves as a team is to lead with the hard, cold attitude that this is the best business on the planet and you can earn whatever you want. And we have to get really comfortable with earning massive amounts of money now.
That's for
So
the
that's-
LinkedIn profile, because the LinkedIn,
That's what I'm going to
everybody,
challenge you
everybody
with.
wants business.
I don't want to
Looking-
take
yeah.
away what you said.
Well,
I
yeah,
just
but
want to
then
make sure you're being tough.
it empowered me to leave corporate America and really embark on something that I was unfamiliar with, uncomfortable, unknown, starting from zero again. Right? I
So
went from
one of your hashtags and one of your headline pieces should be corporate burnout.
okay.
Corporate burnout. And that could be a post. Attention all corporate burnouts, I feel you. But how
Yeah.
grateful I am that I said yes when I did. But I'm here to light the way for those that are looking.
Do you
A way
ever-
out of the
yeah,
dark
right.
side.
You can start it with, do you ever feel like you're really burned out and just at a dead end and you want a new option?
Well,
You know,
what Melissa suggests as the two key phrases that work very well is what if and have you ever? And you want to know what's so funny? If you look at my about section, Bethany, when I worked with a brand specialist and I created my first electronic press kit, if you look at it says, what if you could live a life that? And I didn't even know that was before I worked with Melissa. So I was kind of excited. Like, oh my God, I got something right. Or maybe I did
So
something
the
good.
scariest thing was for me to give my resignation. The scariest thing was to walk into the law firm that I was comfortable with for 15 years, working for these attorneys for 15 years, comfortable, made really good money, which I thought, right, at the time. And just taking that leap, that was the scariest thing. And the average person would not do that, would be afraid to
So,
do that.
Great.
Shayna, your title of the post would be, what if you were courageous enough to give your resignation now to where you no longer find you a line? What if you claim what you deserve and get paid your worth? I'm taking a stand for everybody that feels that way, because here's my story. Bam.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, who else can share their pain? Mary did, Shayna
So
did,
good, Shayna.
Pam did. Yeah, who else?
Hey there.
Robert?
Yeah, I was just, when we were talking about this, I turned to Joy and said, should I go back way when I started network marketing or when I started in Isogenics? And I think we just answered our question because of the pain and the fact that we eventually built it together. So I would start with the primary pain points when we were introduced to Isogenics.
Well, Robert, what I would suggest is that when you think about your pain point, you can make it, it has to be relative to your avatar.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
the answer to your question is, how would you define your pain if you were looking for people that shared the same story? So let's say that your pain, I mean, this isn't going to be your story, but let's just say your pain was, I was skiing every day and finding that I was getting sick more than I was performing because I had a lot of colds. And if your avatar was helping, this is not it, but I'm just giving an example. If your avatar was helping somebody strengthen their immune system, that would be the perfect pain point, right? So
Right.
now we want to make it business. We're not going to make it health. But I knew that story. So I just thought that was like the physical pain point, but we're not bringing that up to LinkedIn. But I wanted to show you how it would relate to the avatar.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
I think that you could have both, if I may, if you're talking about your pain point from a previous network marketing disappointment, maybe if your avatar is other networkers who are looking for a company that really works, that's perfect. If that's, if that's your avatar, is you're looking for other networkers, that's the one, is to say, I thought, this was the business I was disappointed until I found,
Well, actually, he might
Right?
have already come up with it. Paul was giving a suggestion. Thank you. I would like to hear, because he is already.
Okay, yeah,
said-
let's hear it. I'm
What
sorry.
did you come up with, sweetheart?
No, that's a beautiful affirmation. I have three primary pain points. One is the kind of disenchanted or jaded network marketer who just had the bonfire. I just burnt all my network marketing material, and I'd put all those years and passion and dreams into. I had yet to prove to my life partner, my wife, much less myself, that I could do this. Had yet to find that was a lot of pain there. And the other pain point was I had to give up my athletic journey as a top level athlete because I didn't have the time, freedom, much less the health to pursue that, which I regained that. And the third pain point story is the beautiful story around, yes, I love body work and massage therapy, helping people heal. But at the same time, Joy and I, our grandkids were having these birthdays and milestones and all these incredible, beautiful, magical moments. We could only be at one of them per year or two per year. So we were missing all those beautiful, magical moments and times. So I can weave those. What I'm thinking is I would weave those three pain points into one story.
Right, so your
Yep.
content would center around time, freedom, family. And then Bethany, you might want to chime in here because you were dialoguing with Melissa today about the fact that you had a professional athletic title. And remember how she talked to you about that for your avatar and your story. Maybe you could give Robert some insight to that since his.
Yeah, so Robert, and I think that you'll really enjoy the recording from today.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Casey pull that and we'll post it in the modules because it was really good because there were people, for example, that they had only done network marketing, like Cindy Walter. She was like, Melissa, my background is network marketing. I don't have anything else, So she's, coming from that perspective. But when I talked about, of course, mine is more, my main avatar is, the entrepreneur who really wants to get ahead. That is like me, that didn't have the time freedom, that I had thought I would have by starting businesses. And then I said, and then there's the professional athlete side and she said, what you would do with that is you would just kind of weave it in so people get to know you, like into your posts. And you could also use, for example, the professional athlete mindset in business. She's like, Google articles about that because, to be a professional athlete, there has to be that certain mindset, and that mindset goes into business as well. So of course you are going to find professional athletes on LinkedIn that are now business people, right? Because they have that mindset of the professional athlete now in business. So I think the recording from today would be a really good one for you to watch, Robert. We'll probably have it tomorrow.
And the article that Bethany is talking about, you know, you have to ask yourself, how am I providing value in LinkedIn? So it's really different from Facebook and Instagram, where people grab article links that are relative to the point they want to make, because they're trying to always ask themselves, why should people look at my posts and what value am I bringing?
Yeah. I love this. All these different ways to shift into, although I was having success on LinkedIn, I was still positioning myself in my profile and so forth, very, very heavy on the product side, although
Yeah.
I was leading with business.
Yeah.
But when I go to my profile, the videos and profile, it was so heavy on the wellness, well-being, healing. But then my approach was, hey, let's look at a business together. So there was a disconnect. So there's a lot of key
So
aspects.
this is a big, Robert, this is a really big uncomfortable change for most of us. We
Yeah.
all are healers. We're all in love with the product, and we all have built successful business. Many of us here millionaires because of that. However, we all know that keeping a product user on product consistently is not half as easy as a committed business partner. And we know that the riches that are waiting for all of us are not a result of 10,000 product users. It's a result of less but better, meaning that we have product users and then we have key business partners that are really building with us, consistently recruiting. And that is how the biggest companies are built. Remember that Jimmy only had 7 leaders to earn $70 million.
Yeah.
So you know, wherever you want to lead with product outside of LinkedIn, by all means, go do it. But you have to commit, all of us have to commit to LinkedIn to be the baddest, boldest, this is about money. And that's it. Because any little hiccup back to product, it somehow ruins the posture. People here are 6 and 7 figure earners on LinkedIn. They're not playing, most of these people, right? So if we shy down from that, we're not going to be able to swim in those waters.
Yeah, most of those people are not looking for culture. They're not looking for product. They're not looking for anything other than making money. They just want to know how to make more money or have an additional stream of income, or a new one, or a new job, or a transition. So that is
The average income
yeah.
on LinkedIn is 6 figures
Right.
versus Instagram, which is like what, 10,000 a year.
Right. And
These people have money to spend too.
yeah, and the people looking for culture and heart want that money along with it. And so there's so many beautiful shifts we're all making. So I'm excited about it. So thank
I
you,
think
guys.
you're going to really enjoy module 2, Robert. Has anybody else gone through module 2 yet?
Not yet.
It is so impactful what she teaches and trains.
It's the she's going to go into the headline, which is the words underneath your name, and she's going to go into building your story, and she's going to go into endorsements and written, what's it called, endorsements
recommendations.
and recommendations.
I've listened to 5 modules and they're all incredible. So yeah.
Are you learning new stuff? Because I know you already knew a lot.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm cruising through all the modules to say what's different each time, and it's amazing. So
Great. Okay, so who else didn't share yet their pain point? Melissa.
Me,
Yeah.
Melissa. So I wrote, this is what I have, is I was teaching group fitness classes and personal training that I love. I was so torn with how I could not continue to do what I love, not having a benefits package. I was exhausted. It would make me more exhausted thinking that if I did not work, I would not get paid. I needed a second income badly and products to help me so I would not be tired.
Okay, so I needed a second income, did you say? To not be
I need-
tired?
I needed a second income badly. So I wouldn't have to depend only on working at my group fitness classes, Because if I don't go to work, then I don't get paid. And plus I don't have a benefits package. So I need
So
some.
it's really good for you to think about like your avatar. It might be people that love what they're doing, but the importance of a diversification of income is for everyone, whether you're doing well or not. And the average millionaire has 7 streams of income.
Mhm.
So you're speaking to successful people from a place of, I'm living my passion. I love what I'm doing, but I'm exhausted, and recognizing there's just so many hours in a day. I can't be attached to one stream of income that's trading time for money. I need to create passive residual income, which is why I diversified. And then you could be looking for people that need that same type of diversification. And also in the fitness world, why not?
And I think one of the other things that the catchphrases that you can point to is this all, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or I'm doing what I love, but it's not paying me what I thought it would. And I'm not fulfilled. I'm doing what I love, but I'm not getting what I think I deserve, or I'm not earning what I thought I would.
Okay.
Okay. Elaine, you didn't do yours yet, right?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm like the exception in the group because you've got me at the just starting focusing on the business after being, a product user for years. But until a few months ago, my life was, again, like yours, feast or famine. 8 to 9 months out of the year working 10 to 20-hour days with little sleep and rarely any days off. Booking absolutely as much work as possible during season to get through the other 3 to 4 months a year when live events don't happen in the desert. Long days filled with setting up gear, being on my feet nearly all of those hours, supervising other people, babysitting presenters, brutally physically, mentally, and emotionally, not to mention depressing, being in dark ballrooms, never seeing daylight, and wearing black head to toe. And right now I've got a whole industry of people out of work, and my entire network on LinkedIn is all in that industry. So
What was the industry?
Event planning.
corporate audio visual is what I'm doing now, freelance. So no gear,
That's
just
your
working.
avatar.
Yeah, that's your avatar.
That's
Wow.
your avatar. Be very specific. They were very specific on the call. If you're a flight attendant, that's your avatar. If you're an event planner, that's your avatar. And you can always change things, right? She even talked today about multiple avatars, but I got a little confused because I thought it was too much of a wide net and that we'd go a little bit like crazy trying to do more than one. So my recommendation is we all lock into one avatar,
Stay in your lane.
stay in that lane and see what it produces. If it's not producing, we always change the set of the sail. So,
This is like a godsend for me because months ago I was saying, Bethany, I want to lead with the business. And she's saying, but that's not what we do. But I want to lead with the business. So, yeah.
and if you look at Zach and Eden, whether they're popular or unpopular, because they are doing very well, they've always led with the business. And when you look at Jimmy Smith, he always led with the business. When I look at a lot of the companies that I respect that have a lot of longevity and wealth, they've been leading with the business. It just wasn't easy for me to do, but it is now because it's this or bust. That's all I'm going to say, right? Okay, so we've got our story buttoned up, right? Let's move on. There's only 2 more parts to this, so we can try to get you off this call, hopefully within 10 minutes. Your ideal business partner avatar. Has everybody written out their avatar? Does anybody have questions? We touched on it a little bit with your pain story. Would anybody like to ask any questions about their avatar? Yes, Pam.
I'm not exactly sure what an avatar is. I've got some confusion on that. I just Googled it and it's
So,
a little
Pamela,
bit confusing.
Yeah, all your avatar is if I could have you close your eyes, light a candle, put on soft music, and dream about your ideal business partner that would come in and partner with you in Isogenics. Who is this person? What do they look like? What is their struggle? Where do they live? What is their hair color? What keeps them up at night? What's their current salary? What's the change they want to make? Are they married? Are they single? And she goes into this in the module. She gives you all those
I
things
saw that.
to think about. So all of the avatar is, to answer your question, is your ideal business partner that you want to attract.
Your target. Who's
It's
your,
almost like if you were single and you were imagining the ideal man or woman that you wanted to attract. It's the same thing, but we're doing it in business.
That's a
Yep.
good explanation because
The greatest amount of detail that you give gives you the greatest opportunity for law of attraction work.
And for forming your posts and all of your stories directed at that one person. And at first it can feel like, well, aren't I really limiting who I'm going for? You're not.
The more narrow
The
your
more narrow you
focus,
are, the better. 'cause
the
then
more you're going to
right.
attract everything you want. The
Right.
wider your net, the lesser your business people show up.
Right.
Like she literally says, when you get your avatar nailed down, your inbox is flooded every day.
So would there be a difference? The person that I'm just trying to get some clarification. The person that I'm trying to attract would be someone that's an entrepreneurial leader, all of those characteristics that make a good business partner. Or is it something like I'm a dance instructor? Is my avatar a dance instructor? Or am I getting things confused here?
Well, I can answer that because as an artist, there's not a lot of artists that hang out on LinkedIn. So the way that I think of my art, entertainment, and passion for acting and creating and dancing is that I recognize the importance of time freedom to have the opportunity to pursue and have time to do the things that I love. So Isogenics has been the vehicle for me to fund my dreams. I'm looking for people that are already successful, that have already earned money, that are ready for some sort of business change and ready to get to work. They've done it before, they can do it again, but they're ready to be their own boss. They're ready to fire their old business, and they're ready to work from home, learn about e-commerce, be part of a team. They're trainable, they have social media influence, they have social regular influence, they're good communicators, they value integrity. And if they're artists, so be it. We'll have some fun things to talk about, but that's not my avatar.
So for you, for your, I wouldn't say it's necessarily your avatar is going to be a dance teacher. It's going to be maybe a teacher, maybe someone who likes to teach and likes to help, and someone maybe who's involved in the arts. But you also have to think about who's going to be on LinkedIn. Are there going to be dance teachers? Yeah, there probably will be some, but there's going to be a lot more just teachers in general. So I would say I would appeal to my avatar for you would be more along the lines of do you know how it feels to be helping people and instructing them and teaching them what you love, and having your student body be taken away from you, and now what do? That sucks.
We discussed teachers today, and they used the word educator. So that you could be an educator, because she said that actually teachers are not really on LinkedIn a whole lot. And so,
Right.
and somebody else was another sort of teacher, I forget, but so she said, she recommended maybe the word educator.
Educator sounds more professional too.
Right, and it could be a trainer,
Teacher.
educator / trainer,
Mm-hmm.
Who else would like to share relative to their avatar, any challenges they're having? Otherwise, I'll assume that you're good to go with that. Good.
Ellen, I was having trouble with the avatar thing. That's such a weird word. And when I looked it up, it was funky as all get out. So that's just a person I'm looking for as an avatar.
Yep, exacly.
It's
Yep, that's your
your
target.
your ideal business partner.
Yep, your
Not
target.
just a
business partner.
person,
Right.
it has to be written out as the dream with
Okay.
emotion and detail.
I thought it was more written out of like who you were before. Those are the people that usually you're attracted to you. Like whether
You're not the only one confused.
Yeah, well, I think that what the point of who you were is so you can relate. The thing is that the key is to be as relatable as possible, so they think you're talking directly to them.
You want to be relatable to your avatar because
Right.
you have something in common. Either the same struggle they're going through now you've overcome, or an occupation that you left and you found a brighter road.
so like legal secretary, I'm a Zumba instructor, teacher, mom, single mom.
Yes.
I would probably say.
Single
You know,
mom.
Shayna,
and-
Shayna,
yeah.
the corporate burnout would be ideal
Huge.
in LinkedIn,
Yep.
particularly with your background as a legal secretary, where you could make posts about what that was like.
Right.
So, Dana, once you get to module 2's video, I think it's 2's, she gives a really good example where she's showing you her little headline and how she'll comment on somebody's thing and people will see her headline and then they're drawn to that.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I know
so
that like in my profession, I mean, I worked for one of the,
more of
top-
it'll make sense when you get a little bit
okay, perfect.
into it as well.
Okay.
So Ellen and Paul and let me add, and Bethany. So I've had 6 businesses. Do I just do for business people? You can't focus on just car wash, laundromat, pet shop, horse tack. I mean, should I
Well, you're a small business owner.
owner. Yeah, small business owner.
Small
Yep.
business owner is everything.
Yep.
And you could relate to the pain of the small business owner whose mantra is, I'm the best person for this job. So there's never freedom because
Right.
you're the smartest one in the room as a small business owner.
Right. If I want to get it done right, I have to do it myself.
That's
And that-
exactly right.
And yeah, exactly.
40 years doing it myself.
So it
60
doesn't
Right.
matter whether it's a
Yes.
pet shop, doesn't matter whether it's blushes, it doesn't matter. And all of those can be woven in
Yep.
throughout time with different posts. But
Yes.
your avatar is the small business owner that is desperately wanting a step up in their life with more time freedom, more cash flow, and more fulfillment.
Yeah.
Good. I just got to get a little help, right? No, I don't. I'll get that. But yeah,
Oh,
but
just light a candle. Do it when you first wake up. Do it like in bite-sized pieces is what Melissa says. Because, you know, some people really work good grinding through hours at a time. But, you know, like me, whenever I do the newsletter for you guys, like sometimes Casey's like, where's your blog? And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't inspired yet. I don't know what to write. And like, I have to write only when I'm inspired. And the same thing for this course. You're going to have those moments of inspiration where all of a sudden you're going to put pen to paper and it's going to be like a fire hose. Now
And
there's a
these
third part to
modules are
this.
Anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes each. So do what like Ellen and I did. And I mean, I listened to them over and over and then I went back and I was like, okay, now I'm ready to work. Now I've got more of a clear. If I was confused, why would I sit there and try to work? You're not going to work confused. You're going to work when you're inspired and you get it, right?
Right.
So,
Now, the la-
keep
the
going.
la-
So keep going through the modules, you know? At
The
least
last part of
you know,
this,
where they're just boom, boom. It's really easy for you. For us, you should see how we got to get around.
so the last part of this module is called your brand. And your brand is determined by the 5 categories that are going to make up your header. So your header is underneath your name. And for example, Melissa's headers and brand are based around e-commerce, mom boss, health and wealth, financial freedom, entrepreneurship. I happen to share a lot of that as well. And what I did in my header and in my brand was I made sure that I had a call to action. And this goes a little bit into the second part of module 2 that we did today. And I still have to get a little bit of a clarification, but let me just show you here the changes that I made to according to the course, if it's helpful. So here I have these labels: professional networker, entrepreneur, actress, producer, investor, and self-made millionaire. What I added was teaching you how to have it all by building a passive residual income stream online. So what I'm going to do that she suggested today, Bethany, correct me if I'm wrong, she wanted the first part of the label to say,
The first 6 words.
teaching
First
you
6 words are
you
what
how
people
to,
see every time you comment. And then they can hover over it to read the rest.
but Bethany, I'm supposed to have teaching you how to have it all by building a passive residual income stream online.
Right.
Professional networker, entrepreneur. So I'm just flip-flopping,
Flipping it. Yeah.
and that's all I'm supposed to do. The other thing that I did that I want to share with you, I had what I thought was a really good about section, because I was getting a lot of traction on LinkedIn, but it was more people selling me than my ideal customer. But I did this at the very end just to show you, first of all, she's going to tell you to have some words that are just short words to capture attention. So I used "it's all possible." I used "success leaves clues." But this last paragraph is what I added, which is what I learned that I'm going to leave you with. I'm excited to continue to share this life-changing opportunity with driven professionals that recognize the importance of diversifying their income to create greater wealth. People who are desperately seeking more time freedom in their lives and want to leverage the internet for an e-commerce style business. This is an opportunity to be in business for yourself, not by yourself, while building an asset from the comfort of your home. You will discover the power of having a free mentor and a loving team that inspires you to unleash your best self to the world, and in the process, create the abundant cash flow that you deserve. So if you heard that, it basically encompasses everything we've talked about today. It talked about pain point of change. It talked about the labels that define me and my story and my brand. And it encompassed, everything.
Hey,
Is
Miss
that-
Ellen?
Yes, hon.
Good, Al.
And here's the what if. See the what if, but that was there before this course. This was the beginning part. Robert?
Just to comment, if you, I've listened to a lot of other modules that Melissa's taught, even outside of the,
Oh, you're ahead of me probably. I'm only
what
in
you guys
4.
have heard. One thing that Melissa would tell you is, you know how you flipped your subtitle, but also consider, Melissa would tell you the same thing. Now consider flipping your last paragraph in your summary is the most compelling. People have to,
Oh, interesting.
that's one thing Melissa would tell you right off the bat is flip that, what you have in your last paragraph, move it to the top.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get up
Very
to that.
nice, Robert, because it's very well written. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's beautiful.
So I just kind of like,
It was
Just-
really good.
just riffed it. Like it came out at one time. I didn't even rewrite it. So I encourage you to get into that creative space where you remove your fear and stop self-judgment. One of the things that really helped me as an actress when it comes to journaling and getting into stream of consciousness is stream of conscious writing. There's a book out by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way. And in it, she teaches everybody how to journal with something called morning pages. And the morning pages have no punctuation, no capital letters. It's complete stream of consciousness that might not even make sense. So it's as though you put pen to paper and you just let that pen take flight with whatever brain dump comes out onto the paper. And you don't reread it and you don't correct it, and it doesn't matter. You just get it out. And what it does is it trains your brain to be in more of a flow state in every part of your life, not just in writing. So for people like Mary that I know is very self-critical, right? You really want to get to a place where you can start to speak and write from a place of stream of consciousness. And it's a process, but I'm just planting the seed for everybody to know that, like, I don't really think I have a greater talent. I just think that due to the work and study as an actress from my whole life, I'm in a different creative space for law of attraction and for writing and for speaking, because it just comes from a place of courageousness that I trained for 40 years. So embark and give yourself some grace to go on that journey, because it'll get easier and easier and easier and easier. And all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my God, that was gold, what I just said. Where'd that come from? And all of a sudden you're going to be writing. It's like, oh my God, who wrote that? But it has to come from a place of fearlessness. And you have to get to that comfort through experience. And morning pages are a great way to get there. So with that being said, Bethany, I think we did cover everything in module 1. We will meet again a week from today, 5 o'clock, same Zoom. I'm meeting with clusters of other people that can't make it 5 o'clock on Monday, like my children who are in class, some other kids that I'm launching in a re-entry. So it's kind of nice because having such a small group gives everybody this interaction. If it was 60 people, not everybody would have their chance to speak. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, Laureen, I know you got in here late. This module, this recording will be posted due to Bethany's request in our Steps to Freedom So
Perfect.
I'm going to
Thanks.
stop the recording now just because there's only an hour limit. So it says pause.